Well, hello everyone. My name is Dar Rath and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario, Canada. And each week I bring you a story written by different authors, and some of them are funny and some of them just give you something to think about. And this story that I'm reading today is from a book called Sunset Musings by Bob Johnston. And the title of the story is Down with Filler Words. One fine spring day, our 9-year-old child brought home something nasty from school. I hasten to add that it wasn't head lice, a bad report card, or some tattooed grade 7 girlfriend. He rushed in the back door where he began the following exchange. "Me and Willie want to go to the park." "You mean that Willie and I want to go to the park." "No, you don't have to come, just me and Willie." Well, several subsequent attempts to keep this grammatical abomination out of our home naturally proved to be fruitless. On a philosophical level, putting me first fits neatly into a worldview which places self above all others. I really am the center of my universe, is what it says. It does seem far removed from one of those traditional girl guide laws many older women still recall from their youthful years. Think of others ahead of myself and do a good turn every day. I digress. This column is about grammatical usage, including the ever more prevalent use of filler words. It may have started with those beatniks of the 1950s who emulated their jazz heroes by inserting like into as many sentences as possible in order to sound cool. Today, the word like has made an unwelcome resurgence. Just listen to anyone under the age of 20. Many of them use the word as a verbal comma. Next, we note the delightful expression, "you know." This is sometimes pronounced "you know," as if the speaker appears to be pressed for time. These words seem to occur most commonly in sentences when the person is unsure of his or her facts. "You know" may be a subconscious attempt to reassure oneself that the message sent is indeed being received and understood. When repeated multiple times in a conversation, it becomes painful in my ear. I begin to count obsessively the number of utterances and tune out the rest of the content. I mutter to myself, why does he have to keep repeating "you know"? If I already knew, why both telling me again? This brings us to the latest attack on language usage. I mean. Becoming common during the last few years, this overused phrase seems to begin every second sentence. It is almost always used redundantly. The speaker does not need to explain what she or he has not yet said. To confirm my observations, try listening to radio talk shows, including our own CBC. Be warned, however, once you become aware of these little annoyances, they will become word earworms, spoiling your listening pleasure whenever you hear them. Years ago, I stood ineffectively when me and Willie appeared. I remained passive in the face of "you know." I failed to lead a protest against like, but I now take a strong stand against I mean. It is not too late to resist. I recognize two flaws in my approach. My own older Sunset generation was endlessly trained in school to parse sentences correctly. We may sadly shake our collective heads over the deterioration of the language of Shakespeare, Hardy, Hemingway, Lawrence, and Atwood. Yet younger readers will shrug their shoulders and accuse me of being a secret member of the language police. English usage changes, and we need to embrace its evolution. becomes their argument. Secondly, I am now a vulnerable target for retaliation. Any future grammatical error of mine will eagerly be pounced on like a cat pounces on a mouse to prove that writers who live in glass houses should not throw stones or mix metaphors. Isn't that a great story? Bob Johnston is such an amazing writer, and I came across this about filler words, and certainly it's something that I noticed for sure that my grandchildren use the word like quite a lot. I'm not sure what I use quite a lot. I think I might say I mean or I know on occasion. But anyway, this was just an interesting article that Bob Johnston wrote, and I thought I would like to share it with you. So, blessings on your day, and thanks for taking 5, and see you next week.